In this podcast, we're going to be looking at 5 Christmas films to help you improve your English. But first of all, why should you watch films to improve your English? Well, it's a fun way to learn. You can sit down and relax and at the same time improve your English skills. That sounds pretty good to me. But also, it's going to help you improve your listening comprehension skills. And you're going to learn new vocabulary and expressions at the same time because you're seeing how the language is being used in context. Now, I guess most of you are used to listening to English, so I want to give you an extra challenge. You're going to watch these films without subtitles. No subtitles at all. Especially if you've seen the film before in your native language. You don't need subtitles because you already know the storyline, so you're going to understand it very easily because you already know it. We're going to go through the films in a level of difficulty, so the easier films to understand in English will go first. These are some of my favourite movies in English, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about them and why I like them, and also how they can help you improve your English skills. The first film is Home Alone, which is an absolute Christmas classic. It's a perfect film for beginners, especially if you want to improve your American English. The story is about a young boy whose family go on holiday and they forget him at home alone over Christmas. Now, the thing I like about this story is that there isn't too much dialogue. So if you have never seen a film in English before, this might be the perfect film to start. There isn't too much talking, and also if you have kids who are starting to learn English, it's really great for them because they will also be able to understand it. The main character of the film is called Kevin, and he has many adventures at home alone over Christmas. There are 2 burglars or thieves who try and break into his house. This means they try and go into his house without permission. It's a really funny film. You can also say it's hilarious. Not only for adults but also for children. That's why I really loved it as a kid, but I still love it now as an adult. This film is also really great for practicing the present continuous. I always get my students to describe a short scene in the movie. Kevin does many crazy things. There is one scene where he's brushing his teeth, he's shaving, he's listening to music, and also doing many crazy things. And it's great fun to practice your grammar, but also to learn new vocabulary. So you can try and do this for some extra English practice. And also, if you like this film, you can watch Home Alone 2 or Home Alone 3, so the story continues. But moving on to another film I really recommend, which is Elf. Now, to be honest with you, I hadn't watched this movie for a while, but yesterday I watched it with my mom and it's a laugh a minute. This means you spend the whole film laughing. Again, it's not too difficult to understand. It's perfect for beginners, and if you're not used to watching films, maybe it's a good place to start. This is another American movie, so again, it's perfect if you want to practice American English. And it is about a man who is brought up as an elf. If you are brought up as something, it means you are educated and taught to be that thing since you were a child. This film has much more talking, but actually the accent is quite easy to understand and the level of language is not too difficult. The main character, the elf, moves from the North Pole to New York City. So actually this film is really great for practicing comparative structures. You can compare how his life has changed from the North Pole to New York City. Something like the elf isn't as happy living in the North Pole as he is in New York City. You can write a few sentences and it's really great practice. Okay, so let's move on to something a little bit more adult, something that keeps that Christmas magic, but also it's got a little bit more romance. A film that you have to see is The Holiday. The Holiday is an amazing Christmas movie, and the reason you have to see this film is because it is between 2 countries. It's set between 2 countries, which are the USA and the UK. So this film is really great for you to see the difference between American and British English, but also to understand the difference between American and British culture. This film is about 2 women who swap their houses, but also swap their lives over the Christmas holiday. There are many different accents in this film, so it's more of an intermediate level. The language is a little bit more difficult, but it's one of those feel-good movies, something that makes you feel warm and happy inside when you watch it. It's also great to watch with a romantic partner. And the next film is my favourite. You already know what it is, don't you? It's Love Actually. Love Actually is the best Christmas film in my opinion. It's something that I watch every Christmas. I love it that much. Now, Love Actually is a British English film. It's set in London, so there are lots of accents from London in this film, which can be quite difficult to understand, so it's a more of a high intermediate level. But also there is lots of British expressions and British English slang. So if you like British English, maybe watch it with a notepad. Every time you hear something new, something you don't know, you can write it down. You can search and find out what it means and even make an example sentence. If you want to learn British English, watch Love Actually and make sure you watch it every year, just like me. The final film I really recommend that you watch is called It's a Wonderful Life. Now, this film is an absolute classic. It's actually considered to be one of the greatest films ever made, and it was made in the 1940s, so actually this film is in black and white. I recommend this film for people at an advanced level of English. It's not an easy film to follow. There is a lot of speaking. Many films made many years ago have a lot of dialogue, so they're speaking a lot and the accent is very strong, and even for me it's quite difficult to understand. So if you're going to watch a film with subtitles, I recommend that you watch this film with subtitles because it's difficult. It's a challenge, but try and watch it because it is a really great film. It's very inspirational and it helps you think about the true meaning of Christmas. So try it and see how you get on with It's a Wonderful Life. So those are the 5 Christmas films you can watch to improve your English this Christmas. Please try and watch one of them. Let me know what you think. Did you like it? Was it really bad? Do you like my recommendations? But anyway, thank you for listening to the PAPI English podcast. PAPI English is practice and perfection in English. Thank you for listening and have a good Christmas.